Very often, the public assumes that sexual abuse of children is a police problem, or a school problem, or a church problem. It's a community problem. And only by working together in a collaborative effort can we keep children safe from long-term harm.
You know, child sex abuse and protection of children in this arena is something that is very difficult to talk about. We don't talk a lot about it in schools, if we're honest. We talk about a lot of other things that we feel we can solve and can be discussed openly and honestly and publicly, but we don't talk about this at all. But it is here in our community, as it is in every other community across the United States.
It is up to us, the people who are the gateway, the people who are the stewards, the people who are, to a certain extent, the only people who can make an impact, the only people who are willing to pick up on this, and the only people who can be the bridge to really provide healing for these people who are hurting. And that's the important part, that they are hurting and they're carrying this baggage throughout their whole life.
We can make great strides in terms of eradicating the number of children that are sexually exploited and assaulted and raped by adults by this effort. And one of the main things we need to teach people is that it is their business to intervene. Children can't speak for themselves. It is up to us to speak for them and to act on their behalf. We're taught as a society so often to mind our own business. This is an area where we should not mind our own business. This is an area where if you see a child not acting like a child, there's something behind that. And that is our obligation as citizens to intervene and to do something about it.
I was absolutely amazed at the numbers associated with child sexual abuse, and I walked out of that seminar asking myself, what more can I do?
The Darkness to Light program, one that we've taken on as a big initiative to deal with our challenges around child sexual abuse. We see the Y as a credible partner, one that can bring the communities together and muster the support and help of a diverse community through their collaborations and experiences throughout.
I have to confess, I felt immediately overwhelmed because the schools can't do everything. And so when I realized how important it was and the effect that it has on children and society as a whole, we started to feel a little bit overwhelmed about what we're going to do about it. But then we realized that the cavalry had arrived. And so when the cavalry arrives, you know that you're not going to do it alone, and that we had a solution, and it was with our own trusted partners at the YMCA, and that we could tackle the issue of child sex abuse and prevention with great partners, with a track record of success, that we knew that it would be done right, it would be done well, and it would have a positive impact on children, both now and in the future.
The best solution to this problem is prevention of the problem, and getting out in front of it, asking people to become aware, asking them to take a role, does not require, again, much other than them becoming aware of the issue, not disputing the issue exists, and then taking the things they learn to be aware and act in a way that will prevent the problem better and assure the safety of our children.
The prevention piece, I think, is what's so empowering, is that we can not only recognize and intervene, it gives you those tools, but the prevention focus is there as well, that we feel like on many different levels we can take steps that before we might have had the passion for, but not necessarily the concrete tools to really use to make a difference.
I took the training offered by my local YMCA in the program Darkness to Light, and I came away with a feeling that this program has great possibilities, but only if we're all involved in preventing child sex abuse.
What pushes me is knowing that there are kids that there's something else that's going on that you don't know what it is. And those are the kids who end up committing suicide. Those are the kids who need an extra connection, an extra conversation, the right conversation.
So what we need is for all the organizations and businesses in the community to come together to support this child abuse program so that we can eradicate it, because the Y can't do it alone. They need the community support.
We have a moment in time, I think, with the national attentions focused on the incident at Penn State, what's happening in the church, the Catholic Church, in dioceses across this country and quite frankly across the world. I'm a Catholic, and we have a moment in time here where the attention of this country is focused on eradicating pedophilia. It's something that doesn't roll off the tongue that nicely because people don't want to talk about it or hear about it. But we have an obligation and we have a moment now to actually do something about it. And we cannot let this moment pass. And great institutions who have demonstrated great responsibility to the communities they serve, I think have an obligation both morally and in many cases legally to stand up and step out and do something about this.